Good evening, guys. Harlequin here, and welcome to another episode of HarlequinCasts Dawn of War 2 Retribution. It's team game time again. Actually, I'm a bit overdue for that, so today's game is going to be on the map Ruins of Argus, and I love this camera angle here, because you can just really kind of see all of the layers and dynamics going on, as well as just kind of getting a nice little vantage point from up here on this dark, shadowy hill. This map does happen at night. It's a nice kind of sandy, bizarre kind of feel to it. Lots of walls, lots of changes in level and stuff like that. Pretty fun dynamic map there. 2 versus 2 here. And yeah, so by the way, if you guys have any requests for particular types of games, you know, maybe not too specific. A lot of times people are like, find me a game where there are 4 commissars versus, you know, 4, you know, specific games like that. It's much easier for you to just find me the replay and send it to me than to ask me to find it, because if it's not there, it's not there. But if you would like to see more team games, more free-for-all games, more 1 versus 1, you know, whatever, drop by my official discussion thread. I do have the HarlequinCast discussion thread for Dawn of War 2 is located in GameReplays.org. Dawn of War 2 section, link in the description, link also on the left-hand side of my channel there. So let's go ahead and take a look around this map right now and get introduced to the players here. On the left-hand side, controlling the blue piece today, we have Mr. Spirit. I'm just going to introduce them both because they're right here. We've got Schranz and Spirit, both 2 people who have appeared on my channel before plenty of times. They're both highly ranked too as well. I forget, Spirit is somewhere like 2,500. You know, a lot of pretty much the skill level for this game ranges from like 2,300 to 25 or 2,600 LO rating. So really good players out there. Schranz is going to be playing as the Hive Tyrant today, as he pretty much always does, and DK Spirit is going to be playing today as the Force Commander. He can play all sorts of different things here, but Force Commander in particular, it was a good one. This is a replay from a little while ago, but I'd like to encourage people who submit me replays. Don't worry if I don't cast it that day. I actually, whenever I'm looking for good games, I go back through my list of things that people have sent me, and I kind of pick them out at random. So this may have even been a couple of weeks old. I kind of forget exactly here, but just, you know, as a piece of encouragement there, if you send me a replay with a good description, I'll get back to it eventually when I'm looking for that kind of game. Anyhow, the opponents on the other side of the map today playing as the red pieces, we can see we have as the war boss Mr. DJHazzy P. He is actually currently named Inf Potata. I'm not exactly sure who that player is, but both Inf Potata and Sheffy are really good players out there. Sheffy we've actually seen out there quite a bit on my channel here. I do enjoy this gentleman as well. He's going to be playing as the Commissar Lord. DJ is going to be playing as the War Boss. I don't know if I should be calling him Potato or just DJ. I think I'll just call him DJ. Honest to God, though, if you want me to get your names right in replays, just play as your real name. Not that I'm criticizing him. That very well could be his real name, but I've often been confused by aliases in the past, and sometimes through Steam. It's kind of hard to tell. Anyhow, bit of a lengthy intro there, but I hope you guys enjoy that. Let's go ahead and take a look around and get this game started here. So these guys are pretty fun indeed. Let's see here. So right away, just noting the build orders, that's kind of important here. We've got Mr. Hive Tyrant. Schranz is just going to be going for a Termagant Brood right off the bat. Really nothing surprising about any of this stuff. Shooter Boys, we've got a Tactical Marine Squad, and we have a Sentinel out there. That's all well and good here. The most interesting thing here is that we have double heroes going down to the south right now. It's very natural in maps like this to split north versus south in terms of one player trying to go for the top victory point, one player going for the bottom, and then you try and stretch your resources thin, capping the middle and holding on to it here. But for today, you can see just light capping units going up to the top, the Hormagants. Again, it looks like Schranz is just kind of trying to cap the ancillary stuff. You can see that towards the center, Sheffy has got control of this with his Sentinel and with his Guardsmen. But down south is where the real bulk of the blue forces are for the time being here. Double heroes plus all of Spirit's troops out there. You can see Spirit is going for a second scout right away there. Schranz, it looks like he went ahead and grabbed a second Termagant Brood, so nothing wrong with that. And we can see that DJ Harry is being pretty aggressive here with his War Boss. Just got to go ahead and retreat home right through that wall. I apologize for always referring to that as being like the Kool-Aid Man, but I always think, oh yeah, when he just goes like crashing through a wall like that. Unfortunately, he's not giant and orange and filled with Kool-Aid, or red, whatever the hell. Orange, red, you know, I have trouble with colors on the fly. Doesn't matter. Towards the north, you can see that pretty much the same thing. There's a little bit of symmetry going on this map right now. Light amount of forces from the blue up top, and the red units were able to drive them back. light amount of red units to the south, and the blue units were able to drive them back. So again, it looks like red's going to have control over the top and middle temporarily here. Blue's going to have pretty dominant control over the south. But we can see a nice counterattack here. The Hive Tyrant went ahead and crossed all the way across the map and is now back here with the rest of his army. We can see a nice little high ground advantage here. Actually, there is no high ground advantage in this game, but, you know, at least it looks cool up there. You can see the Commissar Lord used his Inspire Courage ability to keep his Imperial Guardsmen inspired. This is always a good move there. If you see the Inspire Courage ability go off, just back away. He just killed one of his own units, run away until the buff wears off, and then come back in and fight. So that's a very logical response there. Now you can see the Hive Tyrant getting right in on the action. Also a Power Sword upgrade going right away for the Commissar Lord. Good use of Crippling Poison right there from the Termagants, being used to just kind of slow this Commissar down. He could be a real beast in melee. You got to watch out for that guy. Do not underestimate him. You should view him as a humongous tyrant or something like that, because he is a pretty huge unit in melee. It looks like the Hive Tyrant is going to be out. This is an interesting second choice here. You can see Sheffy just opted instead to get a heavy weapons team. Seems like he knew he was going to have to deal with the without number Tyranid units up here in the north. Wanted some suppression up here. Lots of nice natural choke points on this map as well, what with all the different levels and staircases and stuff. Been kind of neglecting the southern position, so let's take a look down here. Right away, we jump in the middle of action. We can see a bunch of Storm Boys from DJHazzy out here right now, putting some pressure on Spirit's Space Marines. By the way, I didn't quite mention this either, but Spirit is sporting the Dark Angel DLC content there. Fancy looking stuff. I do enjoy that. And the fact that he's using the Force Commander as well makes that special, because the Force Commander is all Dark Angel-y. Anyhow, so taking a look over here, we can see the War Boss is moving back out, kind of to the victor goes the spoils, and it's practically a 3 cap on the map right now. Unfortunately, the Sentinel cannot cap this northern position, but it is under red control there. Looks like towards the middle here, we just had, taking quite a bit of damage here. We had a little bit of, it looks like some grenades coming out of the Sentinels there. But it doesn't matter. I said Sentinels. I meant Scouts. I don't know what I'm saying Sentinels for. Anyhow, lots of generators coming down here in the bottom. Hive Tyrant again, staying close with Spirit's forces here. It looks like they really want to pile on the units on the southern position here and get an advantage. That is, of course, always very strategic there. It's just a note when you can 2 versus 1 your opponents, depending on how they're set up here. Unfortunately, it looks like the Shooter Boys are just taking a lot of casualties. This Hive Tyrant just killed 2 more models in a row there. He's going to continue pursuing them. However, we do have Slugger Boys now kind of firing up and charging in there, getting in the action. The Storm Boys right now are trying to put some pressure on top of the Space Marines. They really want to get in there with that melee ability. But just look at this Hive Tyrant, man. He is a beast. Surrounded by Sluggers, he don't care. He's going to get some special attacks off. Looks like everybody's going to retreat out of everybody else here. Oh, wonderful looking charge right there from the War Boss. A lot of extra gear on this War Boss. He's already got the big bang hammer, okay. So he's got the huge hammer. He has the cyborg implants giving him the humongous stomp ability. And now he's got, well, he had angry bits giving him the charge there. So really upgraded War Boss there. More towards the north, we can see, it looks like we have a Warrior Brood out third right now for Schranz. The Warrior Brood has even been upgraded with the Barbed Stranglers. Unfortunately, they're kind of all alone in their time of need. However, it looks like the Termagants just showed up in time. So a little bit of that going on here. The Barbed Strangler, of course, gives a nice little suppression ability. It's pretty interesting there. The Termagants more towards the south. Sorry, the Hormagants more towards the south. We're trying to get up the staircases. But really, this is a massive, massive amount of Imperial Guard units there. We can see the old reliable grenade blast going off. The Sentinel having no problems just picking these units off here. Suppressed units being chased by a Sentinel. Really bad news there. So the Tyranid are definitely going to be having some trouble up north here. However, they definitely have force overwhelming south. Note, by the way, that at this point in the game, Spirit has got double Scouts, double Tactical Space Marines. He's just going straight forward in combination with his Force Commander. He's just got some good stuff going on there. You can see he's just constantly buffing his troops. But man, nice looking charge there coming out of the War Boss. And a big old stomp right there. So that's looking pretty awesome. Knocking back all those troops. And now the Storm Boys and these Flame upgraded Slugger Boys, Burna upgraded Slugger Boys here are just kind of chewing into that. We even have the aiming what's that ability being used to suppress these troops before they can retreat. That was just a fantastic turn of events there. It looked like Hazzy took enough casualties that he's not going to be able to stick around and do too much damage. However, he did inflict quite a few losses on Spirit there. Spirit being first to head to Tier 2 is also noteworthy. Looks like a Shooter Boy squad was lost by Hazzy at some point there, though. We can see again, this Commissar is just a badass. He's just standing around right now trying his best to kind of sword these gentlemen down here, but he's going to have to retreat. We do see that wonderful suppression ability being used there by the Barbed Stranglers, and it looks like the Hive Tyrant having to leave as well. But great use of high ground here. especially when they have a really slow rate of fire, just to kind of plop down those spores on people and just kind of keep them out of the action there. Just like that. Thank you for just for showing off that ability just as I was talking about it like that. You can see good use of repair here. Again, Barb Stringers, great for slowing. They don't seem like they do a lot of damage and they have a really slow rate of fire, but when they're firing at something that is suppressed, yeah, they can actually really do a ton of damage to it, as you can see here. However, it is moving and going to be able to get up there, especially being pursued by the Sentinel right now. We can see the Storm Boys, and look at this. This was one of those great 2 versus 1 moments here, where it looks like DJHazzy just kind of left his post. He didn't really worry too much about the South anymore. Came up here, and they just tried to get a beautiful 2-for-1 off on these guys. You can see it looks like he's going to be using Use Ya Choppas there, the War Boss and all them pursuing after the Warrior Brood there. Warrior Brood taking 2 casualties, just barely getting away. But now they're going to be able to 2 versus 1 this whole area right now, perhaps doing a lot of power generation damage and capping some requisition points. That does, however, mean that Spirit is free to do whatever he wants down in the south. You can see he's just going to grit and bear it and just take out that multi-laser turret, which did have pretty good positioning in terms of holding onto the center there. Delayed a little bit, but now it looks like he's actually going to have to go and defend. So unfortunately, he does not get to go hog wild and just take care of all this, although it looks like he's going to leave back with his Force Commander. Yeah, never mind here. He's actually fine sticking around. Oh, beautiful looking grenade spikes right there. That first one was a little bit early, though, but he still got, looks like a model casualty there, and it's just going to continue picking off these Sluggo Boys. So, not too bad. It looks like he is just going to stick in the center of the map, though, and cap those points.